Here we are. Good old Sister Talk Sunday. I am glad to be here to talk to you guys. Anyway, I'm gonna give a few minutes to let a few people see that we're on live, and let me invite a few people in. I'm inviting people in. This is my first time doing this, so we'll see how it goes. I'll just send out a few invites to the people who are usually online and usually on. Hopefully. Let's see. Okay. So I'm gonna give a few minutes and see if we can get some ladies in the room. Come on in the room. Hey, and Zali, come on in the room. I've been to church today, y'all. I'm feeling it. Me and my business partners went to church today. We went to, one of my business partners is a Nigerian, Igbo, and he invited myself and our other business partner to come to church today, first Sunday, and we went, and it was a good service. So I'm good. So I decided to come on and talk to y'all. I asked what we should talk about today. There's so many things that we can talk about. And Jay gave my first response was from Jay, and she said that we should talk about the good things in Ghana and why I moved to Ghana. I think that's a good idea. Because I think it's important that you know your why when you make this move. Yes, girl, that's my jam. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Jesus is my doctor, and he rides. I got paused for some reason. For some reason, I guess they ain't want to hear me singing. Well, y'all don't want to hear me singing. My voice that bad. Anyway, so as we come on in the room, I'm gonna get on and get started. So I gotta get me some food. I ain't ate all day. But anyway, so Jay was saying that I should talk about why I moved to Ghana and the great things about Ghana. And so here it goes. So my very first visit to Ghana was September 6, 2011. My friend, who is now my brother-in-law, he had introduced me to my husband, and my husband was in Ghana. I was supposed to go in 2008, and something came up. I couldn't go. So it took me a while before I actually decided to go. And after talking with my husband for so long, it was just like, okay, let me go. And then he was really confident about me coming and me having a good time. And he's like, you know, you should come. You'll enjoy Ghana. Like, it's not what people make it seem out to be. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna come. And at some point we were joking around, and he's like, you know, you're my wife. And I was like, no, you're too young. And I was like, friends, yeah, but wife, no. And he's like, I'm serious. Like, I know that you're my wife, and when you get here, you're gonna know that you're my wife. I promise you. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Anyway, so I'm like, okay, this dude he really think he like all that or whatever. And then, of course, I went into the conversation. I said, look, let me help you out here. If you need a visa, if you're just trying to get to America, we can make a deal. This is not uncommon in this side of the world. We can make a deal. You can pay me. I'm just gonna keep it real. I was like, you can pay me, and I will facilitate you getting here. I'll do what we need to do to get you here. But you'll have to pay me. If it's not for genuine reasons, you ain't got a lot to kick it. Like, I'll do what we need to do to get you here. You're my friend's brother. I really care. My friend is my friend for real. If I need to do something to help you, you ain't got a lot to kick it. So he's like, no. He's like, honestly, like, I'm not really that pressed to come to America. If anything, I would like to go to Canada or the UK. He's like, but America really isn't in my in a place that I want to go. He's like, I really would rather go to like Spain or something before going to America. So I was like, okay. So I still was a little, I ain't know how I felt about it. Until one day we were talking and I brought it up again. And he's like, how about this? How about I don't come there? How about you come here? You move here. And we can start our life here. You come here, we get married, we start our life in a family. He's like, you bring your daughter. She's going to be my daughter anyway. And we'll just start our life here. I don't have to come there. So I was like, okay, we might do that if I feel like you're my husband. Fast forward to September. Fast forward to like July. I was looking forward to, I was looking at getting my time off or whatever. And I was taking it kind of like a joke. And, so I said to him, I was like, okay, so I got my time off. Now what? So got my time off, and he was like, let me call you, right? I'll call you back in 15 minutes. And in like 20 minutes, my brother-in-law called me back. And my brother-in-law was like, have you bought your ticket yet? And I'm like, no, I don't have any money. I don't have any money. I'm the working poor. And he's like, yeah, you do have the money. You should buy your ticket and come on. He's like, go and check your account and buy your ticket. So I go and I check my account, and I'm like, oh, shit just got real. So I bought my ticket, got my visa, got everything that I needed. At that time, I just got a single entry visa, and I just put his information on there. I put one of his friends' information on there as references or whatever. and I didn't need a letter. I'm hearing now that you need like a letter or something. I think it was a requirement, but I never wrote a letter. Actually, I didn't even buy my ticket until after I got my visa, and that's what I wrote on the application, was that I wasn't buying my ticket until I had a visa for sure. Then I would buy my ticket, but these were my dates, my travel dates, if I got the visa. So anyway, I told before he was my husband, I told him, I said, hey, so if I come there, if I'm gonna do this, or if we're gonna do this, if I have to like fall in love with you instantly, like some kind of bullshit love on first sight, I know that's not gonna happen. So yeah, but I'll still come and have a good time. So that's what I did. I went, I left on September 5th, 2011, got there September 6th. I took a long layover in Amsterdam, went and walked around. This was my first time crossing the water. I had been to like the Caribbean, but this was my first time crossing the water. And so I got to Amsterdam, and I just I went and looked around in the city or whatever. And I took like a 10-hour layover in Amsterdam, which allowed me to take a nice long ride, a long walk around the city or whatever, and see some sights and do some things, all by my lonesome. Once we left Amsterdam, we got on a plane to go to Accra. It was an amazing flight. I never felt nervous. Never felt nervous about any of it. And then when we got to Ghana, it was at night. My flight got in at like 7 or 8, I think. I can't remember. But I remember it was nighttime. And when I walked out of the, those who haven't been to Ghana before, I don't know what the airport looks like now because I haven't been in a while. I've been in America. But at that time, this was before the new side of the new international side of the airport was built, and you had to walk out on the tarmac. So we had to walk out and walk down some stairs, and like as soon as I walked out and the air hit my face, I was just like, I just felt like I could breathe. And it felt like home. Like, that was the first time I knew what it felt like. Like, when people say they was going home, like, I never knew what that really felt like. And so for the first time in my life, I just felt like I was at home. And it was like the wind came in, and it just kind of wrapped around me and gave me a hug. And I was just like, oh, my gosh. I just started bawling, crying. And it was a quite emotional experience. But went on, got there, got with my, got through immigration and everything, met my husband at the, where you meet everybody at. He was like right in the front. I'm looking out there, and he was like right there. And, as soon as I saw him, I fell in love with him. And, I knew, like, we walked out of the airport like we had been knowing each other for a long time, but that was the first time that we met in reality. And it was like I was meeting an old friend of mine. Or it was like I had known him for a long time. We walked out of there talking and kicking it like we had been together for a long time. Anyway, so as soon as I got there, I knew that I wanted to move there. As soon as I walked off the plane, I knew that I wanted to move there. I hadn't even seen anything. And it was dark, so I couldn't see anything. So we went and dropped my stuff off at my hotel. And went and got some food at a place called Epo Spot in Osu. It was one of my favorite spots. If you ever get a chance to... if you're ever in Osu and you can find it, it's a place called Epo Spot, and they got the best fried rice in Accra to me. So we went there and that's where I always go and get. I got fried rice and beef at that time. No, fried rice and chicken the first time, and then the next time I got fried rice and beef. But anyway, it was just my first time in Ghana. I was there for 14 days, and I literally saw I saw 5 regions. There at that time it was 10 regions in Ghana. I saw 5 of them on my first visit. Like I was going. We was going everywhere. I had to see, because I didn't, everybody makes it seem like this is a trip of a lifetime. Like, oh, it's a trip of a lifetime. So I didn't know if I was ever going to do that again. So I wanted to see as much as I could. So I went to, first we started like with going to the beach and seeing things around the city that he wanted me, like from his like neighborhood. Like he showed me his neighborhood, and I went around and met friends and met family or whatever. We had, of course, I had people was cooking for me every day. After I stayed in a hotel for maybe like 2 nights, we moved on to his friend's Joshua's mother has a really big house, so they hosted me there at their house, because their house, all of the rooms on my husband's compound was occupied at the time. So I went to Joshua's house, which was right around the corner from their compound, and we did it like that. So I got food every morning. Oh my God. Every morning I was awakened to like at 6 a.m. with breakfast, which consists of like kind of like an omelet and some tea, and some bread. They don't eat really heavy breakfast, but it was enough, a lot of people don't eat heavy breakfast. I won't say they don't. Some people eat wache for breakfast. Sometimes some would call that a heavy breakfast. So it depends. It's a lot of different ways to have breakfast. Like you can have some street food like Both Road or something like that. It's plenty of ways to have breakfast. But my breakfast every morning was like eggs and bread and tea. I absolutely fell in love with the place. My very first trip, I think I took pictures of everything, like every single thing there was. I think I took pictures of it. And I just really, really thoroughly enjoyed myself. I went to, all of the touristy stuff. I did all of that on top of doing like some very local stuff. Like me personally, I'm not a very touristy person. And honestly, Ghana is not touristy. Well, it hadn't been. I don't think it still is. Like really touristy. But, we just really like got to see the place. I went to Willie Falls and, or Vliet Falls, and went to Aka Falls, and the first time I didn't go to Boti Falls. I went to Kakum. God, I did so much. I can't even remember everything that I did. But the thing was, when I got to Ghana, I felt so at home. Like, even though a lot of times I didn't understand what people were saying. I got malaria on my first trip. Like probably 3 days before I left, I ended up being sick from malaria. But I didn't let that stop me. They went and got me an injection, gave me a shot in the butt, and I was, by the middle of the day, I was up and at it again. I was not going to waste not one day of my time in Ghana. So even with getting malaria, and I always carried a little medicine pack that had like anti-diarrhea, Benadryl, aspirin, Tylenol, ibuprofen. Like I always had a little medicine cabinet with me. So sometimes I would be eating and the food is so rich, I would just pop me a little anti-diarrhea and keep it moving. Like I was ready. I had my little book bag I carried with me all the time. I always had me some toilet tissue, some hand sanitizer, and some wet ones. I just was always ready. What made me move, or what made me really want to move, is after I had been there and came back. It was really hard for me coming back. I cried the entire flight. Like literally every time I opened my eyes, the flight attendant was coming back, she'll just give me another little bottle of wine, because I was a mess. I was a hot mess. But I did not want to come back to the U.S. I was so distraught. And by the time I got back, I was sure that I wanted to move to Ghana. I just didn't know. I thought it would be like I would retire in Ghana, something like that. Fast forward a year later, my husband he came to America, and within 2 weeks of him being there, he was like, "Oh, no, we not staying here." And we started planning to leave. So in the first year before my husband moved, that first year we came back and forth to Ghana 4 times, because I just loved it that much. Every 3 months I was in Ghana. I couldn't, like, once I got back to America, I didn't want to be there. I was having like a lot of anxiety, and it just was uncomfortable for me to be in America. So then once my husband got to America in August of 2012, after he got there, we started planning to move, and then we was going back and forth to Ghana together, and I just loved it. I loved everything about it. I loved how relaxed I felt. Like when I'm in America, I always feel like an exposed nerve. But when I come to Ghana, I feel so relaxed. And even with all of the precious inconveniences, there's a lot to complain about. But even with all of the things there are to complain about, I would take Ghana over America any day. And that's not, I ain't trying to, I'm just saying how I feel. I'll take Ghana over America any day. And I just, it's just something about it. Because right now I'm in Guinea. I don't feel the same way in Guinea that I do in Ghana. And it's just a feeling that I get when I'm there that it just seems to quench my thirst. And I know a lot of people who have traveled all over Africa, and they still decide to move to, when they move, they decide to move to Ghana. For whatever reason, Ghana is comfortable for a lot of us. And I think you just kind of feel free. And then once you start to learn how to maneuver in Ghana, to see people that look like you every day. Like even here in Guinea, I rarely ever see somebody that doesn't look like me. It's very rare. Even though I know they're here, I rarely see them myself. And it's the same thing in Ghana. The only time I really see them is when I go into places where they are. So, you know, I just really, really, you know, when you decide that you want to make this move though, I really, really implore everyone to be very sure in your desire and the why. Like, why are you moving? For me, it was because I had this feeling. I was not a part of the repatriation community at all. I was moving back with my husband and my family. It wasn't until we went back to, we moved in 2014, in May of 2014. So we were there we rented a place for 2 years, but we came back to America for a visit. And when we came back for that visit, I was just like, no, I can't do this. You know, it was just really hard for me to be there. And that is when someone added me to I was a part of the expat community. That's where I met my very, very dear sister. She's my sister. She's my friend, but she's more my sister. I met her in the expat community at an event. And you need to, before you come, like because I wasn't into the repatriation community, and I had my own reason why, and the reason was just because of the way I felt. But one of the challenges that I see a lot of people have is they romanticize what it's gonna be like. Like, I had no expectations or anything when I moved to Ghana, so it was just like, wow, this is really dope. I had no expectations, but I wasn't a part of anything at that point. So what I see happens to a lot of people is that we romanticize the idea of moving to Africa, and there's a lot of people telling half truths, and even in some cases lies about what it's like, and which is why I like to have very candid and open conversation about what it's like to have to make this journey, and tell the truth. The truth is that it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. I love walking on the beach and thinking about how, you know, where I am versus where I am now versus where I was last year or the last couple of months or whatever. I love being able to reflect. I love being able to eat fresh food all the time, and I love all of those things. But also there can be a heaviness about it, because I do feel like I have a responsibility to my ancestors. Like, for me, the main thing was, so here was my why. I wanted to be able to do something for my family that had not been done. I wanted to restore what had been taken from my family. So I knew that marrying a Ghanaian or an African, I've wanted to marry an African since I was like 19, 20. But I knew that once I married I married an African and had my children, I would be able to, in one generation, reverse things in my mind. And that's just me. Some other people might not feel that way, and that's all good. I'm telling you what I did for me. For me, I saw it as, in one generation. Now, my children, I have 3 Ghanaian kids, and my children can go directly to their father's village. Everyone knows they have traditional names. They're named for their grandfather and their great-grandfather, and they have a traditional name. And I wanted to restore what I felt like was taken from my family, and I felt like the easiest way for me to do that was to marry an African and have children. And in one generation, I've turned it around. That was my thinking, and that's still my thinking. But you know, you really have to have your mind all the way made up, because it can be difficult. Because most of us are not moving here with friends or family. We're moving here brand new, which is why I speak so much about building relationships. The whole reason that I built this group was because when I initially moved to Ghana, I didn't know anyone. I found myself feeling lonely. I had my mom, I had my children, I had my husband, but outside of that, I didn't have anything. I didn't have anyone that I could talk to myself, who might understand where I was coming from, who might understand the struggles that I was having. So when I created this group, it was while I was back in America, and I started meeting other repatriate women, and I joined like a Sister Repat something, and it just kind of blossomed into this. I created this as a derivative of that, because I felt like we needed a space. We needed a space for ourselves, because even though the expat community was very, very helpful, so very helpful for me, I knew that they weren't there for the same reason that I was. They didn't have the same ideals as I do. And while I am still friends with a lot of people in the expat community, the repat community was more of what I needed. And honestly, having the repat community has been what has helped me to be able to make it through. Because I've made some really good, after building this group, I made some really, really good sister friends that, like, even right now, I'm in Conakry. I'm like, yo, I got to get to Ghana so I can see my sisters. Because here, I don't speak that much French. Like, my French is very little. It's like greetings and that's it. But I'm here for business, as many of you all know. And I've been here for a year. But I need to get to Ghana. I need me some. I need to go for I need to go home for a vacation. And so some of the good stuff. Oh my God. So some of the good stuff that I absolutely love about having my home in Ghana is so. I'm sorry, this is going to be really corny, but this is my truth. I love the fact that on our property, we are growing like everything that we like. We are growing soursop, ackee, yellow coconuts, oranges, lemons. My husband showed me yesterday, he was showing me he's growing some garden eggs and tomatoes. He just made he been using the tomatoes that we're growing for his stew. Did I say okra, corn? He just growing some of everything. I got to get there and kind of straighten that out, because he got it looking like a farm on one of our properties. I'm like, bruh, we got to tidy it up. But I just love the idea. We have plantains, we have bananas, we have two types of plantains. We got the green ones and the they say red or yellow, but we have two types of plantains. We have cocoyam, just all kind of stuff growing. So that's one of the things that I really, 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 really love. Like when he was showing me that, I was so excited about that. One of my memories, one of the best memories that I have, this is one of the questions Jay asked. One of the best memories that I have was walking onto our property once my husband had it cleared. And, you know, being from America, most of us have never had, like, built a place from, or seen a place built from the ground. And most of us have never bought land or built a house or whatever the case may be. Most of us have grown up in situations where it was rental, or we might have grew up in the grandparents' house or something like that, depending on what part of the country you're from. But I remember when I got out of the car and I walked onto the land, and I don't know where it came from. I just started crying. And he was like, "What's wrong? Like, why are you crying?" I was like, "It's just, we getting ready to build a house." And he was like, "Yeah, people do this all the time. What are you talking?" I was like, "Not where I'm from. I don't know anybody except my uncle who built the house. Everybody that I know who has a house, they bought it. It was already built." So I was really that's one of my good memories. Another good memory for me was when we came over, and my big girl was 12 when we got there, and she went to school. And when she got to school, I was so nervous. I was just so nervous for her. I just didn't know what to expect. I had heard a few kind of horror stories. But I'm sorry, y'all. I gotta go check on my chicken. I forgot. I'm sorry. Lord help me. Ooh. Oh yeah, you about ready. Let's turn that off. So I felt really good once my daughter came home and said she liked school, and she was actually excited about school and all of that stuff. That was another good memory. That was another win for me. So for those with children, I would say know that children are very resilient, and they'll be fine. You just have to find whatever you think will work for them. My big girl went to private school, but it was like a local private school. I didn't put her in like American school or some kind of international school or nothing like that. I just put her in like a local private school. The tuition was like 800 at that time. It was like 800 CDs a quarter. We had to buy uniforms and all that stuff. It wasn't that expensive. So anyway, what's another good experience that I had? I mean, I've had so many. Like, it's been since 2011. I've been to Ghana. Like, I can't even count how many times I've been back and forth to Ghana. And to be honest, like, the how of making the move, it took a lot of sacrificing. Once we decided that we were moving, literally every month on the check that I didn't pay bills out of, I bought stuff that I was taking with me to Ghana. I lived in a loft in Cabbagetown, Atlanta, and my hallway. I had a really long hallway. I literally had stuff stacked as high as I could stack it all the way down the hallway by the time it was time to go to Ghana. And the kind of stuff that I packed, and the reason why I packed so much stuff was because I had a family. At that time, it was me, my mama, my husband, my 12-year-old, and I had a 6-month-old. So I was just trying to prepare for them to be comfortable. My mama hadn't ever been, and my big girl hadn't ever been. So I wanted to have some things to help us get over the hump, is what I call it. Enough stuff to help us get over the hump. By the time we ran out of stuff, we knew where we could find it. We knew where to go to get this, that, and the third. I shipped stuff like I went to Costco and I bought like anything that I could think that we might want and need that was non-perishable. I brought it. We also, because we are a family, a big, I won't say a big family, but because it was 5 of us, we shipped our furniture. A lot of people, if it was just me and my husband, I wouldn't have shipped furniture. Or if it was me by myself, I wouldn't have shipped my furniture. But just for the sake of saving some money, it worked for us because the cost to ship a container was like $5,000. What would it have cost us to buy all new furniture? So that's the reason why we shipped our furniture, because it would have cost us more to buy all new furniture. Plus, once we got to Ghana, we needed to buy a refrigerator, a stove. We needed to buy ACs and fans. And, initially, like when you have, if it's just you can, I don't know how much you need. People all keep asking me how much money you need to move to Ghana. That's not a reasonable question to ask somebody. You need to go to Ghana, do a recon mission. Don't go there for sightseeing and all of that stuff. Go on a real recon mission so that you can get a really good idea. Find out how much stuff costs in the market. Find out what it costs to rent a place. Because, like in this group, a lot of times people ask, they be wanting to find a place for like $40 a month or something like that. I'm sure you can find it, but for me, I don't know those places because I have a family. I have a husband and 4 children. And my mama was with us. So my place needed to be much bigger. We rented a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bathroom house. So I can't tell you what you might need, what you might need. So what's a recon mission? A recon mission is like you go and you do like you go and see what things are like. See what's ahead of you. It's a military term for seeing what's ahead of you. Like the troops that they send in that are like a reconnaissance mission, they go in to see what the layout is like, what they go and try to learn the lay of the land and all of that stuff before all of the other troops come in. So that's a recon mission. And in these terms, I'm saying your recon mission should be trying to figure out what it's going to take for you to be in Ghana for a year, say, or 6 months, say. How are you going to make it for that long? Especially if it's just you as a single person. I would suggest that you are, that you make sure you, hold on, something going on here. My battery trying to die, but I had it plugged up. Hold on. Okay, it looked like it's charging now. But if it go off, it's because my battery died. But that's weird. anyway, so you need to go and just find out. You know what you might eat every day. You need to find out what your food budget might be. That's probably gonna be where you spend the most of your money. If you rent in a place, are you gonna rent a place? Do you want a fully furnished place, or do you want to have to buy furniture? Do you want I don't know, like, you just need to consider all of the things that it would take to make you comfortable. For my family, shipping a lot of stuff, we shipped a lot of different stuff to help us get through the hardness. We shipped like Country Time, lemonade in the big old thing. I shipped Zatarans, fish fry, because my family loves fish, and so I sent some Zatarans fish fry. I sent some. I was going to Costco, so I had these big old boxes of Red Lobster, the biscuits. I had all kind of stuff. Everything that I thought would make my family comfortable until we figured out how to make the transition into shopping at the market and all of that, because I had to learn how to do that. We had to learn how to do that. And it still took me a long time before I actually was able to fully shop in the market, because I found myself shopping in like Palace or ShopRite. And some of those certain things that you want, like buying cheese and certain things you might want, you're going to have to go to those places. But you can do like probably 80% of your shopping in the market, depending on, what your eating style is like. And what really pushed me to have to learn how to shop in the market was my husband was like, yo, I'm going to give you 100 CDs a week to feed us. You should be able to feed us off 100 CDs a week. And I was like, how? He was like, man, my mama did it for 7 of us. You can, and for much cheaper than that. So I'm sure you can feed us for 100 CDs a week. And I did. I figured it out. I called another sister, and she had been there for a long time. And I was like, yo, I'm on 100 CDs a week budget for the 5 of us. Like, how am I supposed to do that? And she was able to tell me, like, okay, this is what you're going to do. This is what you buy. And stop, like, you can't buy so much of stuff, because I was losing a lot of stuff to spoilage and all of that stuff or whatever. So, saying all that to say, go on a recon mission. You probably going to need just like a whole trip just for that. If you want to go on a tourism trip first, you may want to do that. Or if you can have enough time to do a reconnaissance mission and a tourism visit, you do that. But I strongly suggest that for anybody, because, you guys ask the questions of how much it takes to move to Ghana. And it's hard to say that, because the needs of my family may not be the needs of your family. Like a friend of mine, one of my friends, she don't need AC at all. She just need a fan. I need to have AC, because all of my kids are really, believe it or not, as Ghanaians, they are very hot natured. So I have to have AC. And we have AC and fans. And I have to have, some people don't have to have a refrigerator. A lot of people don't have refrigerators in Ghana. I had to have a refrigerator. I had to have a stove. Cooking on a coal pot was too hard for me. I tried it, and I did it when we first got there until we bought our stove. But, and I learned how to make banku and fufu and all of that, all the traditional way. I did all of it. And you should too. It's good to know how to do that stuff, but if you don't have to, don't give yourself more work than you have to. You don't want to go from one high stress environment to another high stress environment, if you know what I mean, or making yourself more stressful than you have to. So go find out, spend some time in Ghana, make some friends, build some relationships, try to build you some relationships with some Ghanaians, local and abroad. but I would say make friends with people who are pro-African, pan-African. Them people who nobody's gonna understand your journey like other people who are pan-African and understand the whys of pan-Africanism and Garveyism or whatever the case may be. Shoot, that's it. Y'all got any questions? Cause I can talk about why I love Ghana for days. So I ain't trying to be funny, but I can sit here and just talk about that all day. So do y'all have any questions? Let me see. Let me go back. Yep. I think I answered that question. Yeah, I'm in Conakry now. I should be going to Ghana soon. You have to mentally be there before. I'm not a part of a year return, etc. I've never been with an American. I'm 40 and and my first was African, saying I don't even know many American dishes. That's funny. When I say you just need to know, because a lot of people, they come to Africa feeling like it's going to solve their problems, I think. But what I find is that moving to Africa, everybody that I know who's moved to Africa, they come face to face with their problems. Whatever issues they may be running from, they come face to face with it here. Like, it's like it's gonna make you or break you. It'll make you grow or it'll make you run. Like, you're gonna either grow or run. And it's just important that you are strong in your mind about your why, because America makes it very easy to be there. Ghana doesn't have any social like help stuff. Like, I implore y'all to look through this group. This group been established since 2015. We've talked about everything that you could possibly. I don't know nothing that we haven't talked about in this group. A lot of stuff we're talking about again because we have we have a few new members. One of the things I do want to remind everyone is, if you are a new member, please make an introduction in our Meet Your Sisters album. And if you're just here to do adverts and all of that stuff, this is not the right group for that. An advert here and there is fine, but this group is not for that. We're here to actually help each other make this journey and try to make it as seamless as possible. Once we add people within, I used to be on my stuff and get it done within a week's time, where we would delete people if they haven't had made their introduction. One of the things is making an introduction. It's like, I'm a Southerner, and the first thing you're supposed to do when you walk in a room is introduce yourself or speak. And as women, it's only women in this group, as you guys know. So as women, I think it's important that we set a standard of a code of conduct. Like, it's really kind of odd when somebody kind of just came in the group and they just go to talk. Like, who are you? Like, can we know who you are? Can we get a background? Can we kind of know where you're coming from or something? And then we can go into all of that. And also do a search. You can actually revive old threads just by commenting on them, and a lot of times somebody will revive an old thread, and we'll be on that old thread for another week or another couple of days. So go into the search, in the little search part and just type in whatever it is that you're looking for, and I'm sure it'll come up somewhere, somehow. We done talked about some everything. We done talked about treasury bills. We done talked about buying land. We done talked about marriage. We done talked about kids and school, and we done talked about everything. We done talked about everything. But I'm not opposed to talking about it again because it has been a few years, so some things have changed. So let's just, we can revive things, or I'll be, on days like this, when I post that I'm going to have a talk today, just let me know what y'all want to talk about. And y'all can join me in these conversations. I don't like, just talking. I want us to have conversations. So the comments are great. The questions are great. What else? Just start preparing, preparing yourself if you want to learn some tree. It's a couple of ladies in the group have mentioned that they know someone, or maybe they actually are tree tutors. It would be good to get some basic tree under your belt. Africans, period, love when you can greet them in their language. It's very respectful, and it shows that you at least trying. So we've had even some posts where we posted basic greetings and stuff like that, basic ways to, because a lot of people, believe it or not, a lot of people don't speak English. A lot of people in Ghana only speak their language. So I'm saying all that to say, get prepared. Do whatever you need to do to get prepared. If y'all have any questions or concerns, hit me up. I am Bakita Muhammad, and I'm out.